Greetings, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Captain Rye, and today we're going to be taking a look at World of Warships, How to Fubuki. Supplementary, why you should never upgrade to the Sea Hull. I've been seeing a lot of people play the Fubuki lately, and it's driving me batshit insane that I see them playing with the Sea Hull. The Fubuki is a torpedo boat. There's no doubt or denying this. It has always been the case. It's an extremely stealthy ship with 15-point captain, camo, and concealment module. She has a detectability range of just 5.5 kilometers from the surface and just under 3 by air. So why people upgrade to the Sea Hull? It makes no sense to me. I have no idea. And it drives me absolutely crazy. Here's my deal. The Fubuki is at its peak with its B hull, because the B hull comes with the increased HP, but it still gets to keep all 3 of its main gun turrets. Upgrading to the Sea Hull, you lose one of those turrets. And while a good number of people are under the opinion that the guns on Japanese destroyers are utterly shit and worthless, this is not the case with the Fubuki. Her turrets are slow turning, but she has 6 guns that hit really hard for destroyers. Her guns are kind of on par with Russian destroyers like the Gnevny and the Grimyeshki. Pre-planning and good forethought, and you can really go in and start to do just amazing things with this ship. And you can play it like you'd play a gunboat, a Russian gunboat. You cannot fire from concealment. This isn't an American gunboat. You, as soon as you open fire, are going to be spotted. So, planning ahead, being surrounded by allies, and making sure that you're not going to be the sole object of attention before opening fire. But there are times when using your guns is very advantageous, and we're going to see several great examples of that. One example of a time when you should have used your guns was if you're in a ship like this and you're being spotted by another destroyer that's extremely low health. Don't spend 30 seconds wasting your time trying to torpedo it. Just open up with your guns and deal with it that way. Yeah, you're going to be spotted, but if he's the only thing that's technically spotting you, if you kill him with your guns, you're not spotted anymore, and you can run away. Still, people insist on torpedoes only, guns are for the weak. The other thing I see people doing in this boat that's driving me up one wall and down another is that they refuse to get forward and spot for their team. You are a stealthy boat. You should only ever hang back by your cruisers and battleships to torpedo if you know that there is a destroyer who can spot you, who is up there, and you're in a defensive pattern to retreat. If we take a look at the battle that's going on here, you will see that I am very far forward for my team. But because of this, I'm spotting all of those wonderful targets, including 2 different destroyers, a cruiser, and I believe there's another battleship back behind that smoke. So I've got torpedoes out. I'm trying to hold on to the cap, but I don't want to get too close. And I'm just going to start this battle off like you would expect a Fubuki to start off, with torpedo spamming an area. I know there was a Tashkent in there, and I'm trying to flush him out. And I've got my torpedoes away, and that's when I do one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I managed to torpedo a destroyer who was sitting in smoke. Incidentally, his destroyer was not actually sitting in smoke. He was just passing through it. I nailed the Benson with one hit. I love to do that. I really do. But you'll notice that I've still playing forward. I'm popping in and out of that cap from time to time in order to pause the cap counter. This is something that is the Fubuki you must always do. You should never have the Sea Hull in this ship because you lose one of those gun turrets. And again, people will always say, well, the guns suck. Yeah, well, you know what sucks worse than the guns? The anti-aircraft. There's no reason to upgrade. Lose 33% of your firepower and 50% of your firepower when running away to replace it with shit anti-aircraft. The anti-aircraft will open up at a range of 4 kilometers. With full concealment, you won't be detected until 3 or 2.9 kilometers. So you're basically giving CVs a whole extra kilometer in which to spot you. And because it's anti-aircraft, it'll be always on, and you'll be perma-spotted. Just took out an enemy North Carolina who, to be honest, I thought I was going to miss him. He was kind of turning away, but decided to turn back and give me a nice, juicy broadside to shoot at. So, torpedoed him for a solid amount of damage. Now, the cap is pretty much uncontested. I have a good amount of my team here, so I feel confident that I can just sit here, get great torpedo salvos off. That battleship up there, by the way, is reversing. Now, he's reversing slowly enough that my torpedoes will hit him, but I spread them out just a little bit anyway because I want to make sure that if he decides to change directions, either turn left or turn right, or he decides to suddenly start moving forward, that I'm going to at least get 1 or 2 torpedoes on him. Holding in the cap, using the stealthiness of this ship in order to continue to prevent the enemy team from taking this cap zone. 2 torpedo hits onto that North Carolina. He's probably wishing he had not just sat there, if you will, reversing and then moving forward trying to play peekaboo. But you'll notice he's flooding. He's still taking damage from my torpedoes, and I was pretty lucky there. 2 torpedo hits, 2 floodings. Never happens. But I'm going to continue breaking damage on him. Look, he's getting so low health. My team is desperately trying to secure the kill on him. My torpedoes are almost up. I'm going to fire off 1 and decide I'm going to fire off a second one, but he's so low health that those torpedoes are never going to make him before he dies. I want the kill, so I have all my guns pointed in that direction. Fire, secure that kill. I'm taking shots in from that Tashkent as I would expect I would, because Tashkent loves to kill other destroyers. Pop my smoke, turn around, and run away. Break that line of sight, and make sure that my team was taking all the focus from that Atago. That Atago didn't fire at me, probably because he's got other problems to deal with. But if I hadn't had my guns to shoot at that North Carolina, it's probable I wouldn't have secured that kill on that North Carolina. Because he was on fire. Yes, he was flooding, and yeah, as far as I can tell, flooding versus fire, whoever's got the fire damage is going to take it. So, used my guns, fired all my shells. I had all 6 of them hit that target and do 300 damage on him, which was enough to secure that kill. Didn't sit in smoke. There goes torpedoes right through that smoke, which, if you're like a standard destroyer captain and you just decide to sit there, you're going to have a bad time. Capping A. Finally capping A. Looking at this Tashkent off in the distance, I'm not going to chase him down. I'm never going to be able to catch him, because it's a Tashkent, it's a Russian destroyer, and the Fubuki is rather slow. I'm also not going to open up on him with my guns. Really low probability of hitting. It's kind of like an American destroyer. I see a lot of people do this in their American destroyers. They'll have a target like this at range, and they'll sit there and they'll open up, and other nearby enemy ships, especially sneaky stealthy destroyers like the Fubuki, will be in range and start spotting you. If there's an aircraft carrier on the team, or there are really good battleship snipers, they'll just sit there and start pouring fire onto you because they can. So, I'm not going to waste my time chasing down that destroyer. He's almost dead anyway, and my team desperately needs assistance at the B cap point. You will notice that the enemy team pretty much still has all of its destroyers. And up until we killed that Tashkent, they actually had a destroyer advantage. They're going to continue to be a problem for us, and this is really where the battle kind of starts to go pear-shaped. We're going to run into an issue with all of these destroyers causing serious problems. But hey, if they didn't, it wouldn't be entertaining, would it? Off in the distance, there's an Izumo. He's still out of range of my torpedoes, but he's sailing in this direction. Torpedoes are up. Fubuki's got fast torpedoes. Fast reload on him in comparison to other tier 8 ships. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fire all of them off, and we'll see. Hopefully he won't turn. Taking fire in here, not detected, so I'm not sure what exactly was happening until I saw the Kharbarovsk back over there. Now, you'll notice that the enemy team's Kharbarovsk has popped up, the Kagero has popped up, and the Shimakaze has popped up. All of these ships are extremely dangerous, especially the Kagero, who's going to go on to get a number of kills. I'm detected by that Shimakaze who is in range. Now, my smoke is up, so I've popped smoke. I'm turning to break contact, but again, my guns are available, so I fire my guns at that Shimakaze. This is something that nobody ever seems to do in this ship, and it drives me crazy. People, why? Use your guns. Pop smoke, break contact, fire your guns. It's that simple. Hell, get ballsy. I'm going to get ballsy, and it's going to pay off massively. Rear guns lined up. I'm providing fire support for a gearing in a Fubuki. That gearing can easily deal with this Kharbarovsk on his own. But why not supply additional fire support? Look at that. 1,000 damage. I've basically almost killed him in that salvo. So why not use my guns? Guns are perfectly acceptable and adequate damage dealers. The Fubuki's guns, high explosive, will do 3,000 high explosive damage per salvo if you hit the superstructure on something else. And we're going to see here, I'm going to start pouring fire onto this Izumo. That's right, I'm going to park in smoke, and I am going to gunboat too. I am going to start pouring shots into this Izumo in an effort to get additional fires started on him, though he is burning in a number of locations. And there's one torpedo hit, there's two torpedo hits, and high caliber. That Izumo's down. Ooh, there's a mostly full-strength Shimakaze, the Shima that I hit earlier. Hit him for good damage. Got torpedo warnings, gotta make sure they're not coming to me. They are not. But I'm going to continue pouring fire into the Shimakaze, and as you can see, I'm doing decent damage in that process. The gearing is also pouring fire into him, and together we're just gunboating away and causing some serious issues. Activate my engine boost. I have torpedoes up. I'm going to try and torpedo this cruiser off in the distance, though he is going to turn and start maneuvering heavily. I'm going to torpedo the smoke where the Shimakaze was last seen, because his engine had been knocked out. So if he's still there, hopefully I'll nail him. He has popped up. I'm close enough to him. And again, I've opened up with my guns, and look at the damage that I just did to him. Fubuki's guns, not the most accurate. They tend to have a slightly longer shot out, taking shots from that cruiser, but that cruiser's just so close to dead. That Shimakaze is so close to dead. I'm trying to get the kill on. Oh, look, I'm just so close. Come on, get that kill. I only need one more. Oh, damn it. Oh well. But forward and aggressive with guns basically helped take the attention of that cruiser, who was probably concerned I was about to torpedo him, and forced him to react by maneuvering to avoid potential torpedoes. Additionally, forced his attention to divide between myself, the other destroyer, and the battleship. That Shimakaze was getting fire poured on him from me, the gearing, and our friendly cruiser. That is how you make one of these battles go really, really well. And this is why you don't upgrade to the Sea Hall. If you only had 4 of those guns, you wouldn't have done nearly that much damage. You wouldn't have nearly secured those 2 kills. You wouldn't have nearly or even actually managed to secure some of the other kills, because you just wouldn't have the firepower to put out. From this point on, the battle's done. It's just the Kagero left. And considering that both myself and the gearing behind me are pretty much full strength, if the Kagero pops up, he's done. And since I'm almost positive that I'm the stealthiest boat in the game, that Kagero isn't going to spot me before I spot him. And even if he did have a 15-point captain, the camo and the concealment, it's only a 0.1 difference, and if I'm spotted 0.1 kilometers before him, pretty much know who it is and know how far away they are. Of course, the gearing will be spotted before me, which will probably freak out the Kagero, who will panic. And if I spot him, well, it's all over. 3 base assist captures this battle. First Blood, Devastating Strike, High Caliber, and Confederate. That's a pretty darn good battle, but no full base captures, which makes the end result of this battle all the more ridiculous. And that is just another reason why you don't upgrade to the C Hall. You stay on the B Hall, you keep those extra guns, and you learn how to use those guns. You use those guns like you would on the Gnevny. You play this ship like a torpedo boat until it's advantageous for you to push forward and play it like a Russian gunboat. And you can do it, and this ship is fully capable of that process. 100%. As I like to say, I play my Fubuki like I play my Fletcher. I play my Fletcher like I play my Fubuki. Torpedoes are primary, guns are secondary, but I'm not afraid to use either of them, from range or up close. End battle result screen. This was the first one of the day, and it is during the 200% XP gain. 537,000 credits, 158,000 damage, 20,000 XP. 20,000. Holy shit. But it's even more impressive. 3,800 base experience. I have almost 1,700 more XP than the next nearest guy on my team. And that's without full base captures. In credits, 26,000 Captain XP, 400,000 credits earned on a non-premium ship. People, stop upgrading to the Sea Hall. Stop doing that. You're not helping yourself, and you're not helping your team. Keep the B Hall. Don't waste the 1.5 million credits for shit anti-aircraft. Honestly, don't ever turn your anti-aircraft on. You say, well, but Captain, what if I get spotted by a CV? If you get spotted by a CV, you have bigger problems than anti-aircraft. You do. You have far bigger problems than your anti-aircraft. Your best hope, if you're spotted by a CV, by fighters or bombers, is to pop smoke, sit in the smoke, hope that CV gets bored and leaves, or to pop smoke, take a hard turn, hit your engine boost, and run away. Ask your CV or another cruiser to come and help you, but don't use your own anti-aircraft. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, hit that like and subscribe button, and as always, I will see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.